Hey guys, how you doing? This is Josh from Trinity and welcome to a brand new Let's Play of Surviving Mars. So I've played the game before, but I've only played it once and it was a very long time ago. Since then the game has had quite a few updates, including some free DLC, as is part of Paradox's way of delivering content to players who don't buy the season passes. So quite a lot have changed, including UI features, certainly a lot of quality of life changes that's gone into the game, so I'm looking forward to playing this again. They also introduced a tutorial which wasn't there in the first build of the game when it went live, so it's nice to have a tutorial. They've also had a creative mode, and then there's an easy start which just throws you straight into the game with the best possible chance of completing the missions as the game goes on. But what I'm going to do for this Let's Play is I'm going to set up a brand new game where I get to select what I want to do with it. I don't want to play an Iron Man mode at this very moment in time. I want to learn the game and remember the game more than learn it, and then also understand what's been introduced as the DLC. Free content DLC has been introduced into the game as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the new game button. I'm going to go in and I'm going to start selecting our mission profile. Is probably the best way to describe it. So within the game itself you have various, so the mission sponsor, so the International Mission Mars mission, the commander profile, the company logo, a mystery and the game rules. So what I'll do first of all is go into the mission sponsor. So within the mission sponsor screens what we have is various different corporations, countries, even a church of so with these will actually give you the boosts of how we want to play your mission. So let's go have a look at the International Mars mission one. So it's a difficulty of very easy. You're going to get $30 billion as your starting funding. Starting applicants of 200, so that's 200 people who will join your mission to Mars. You're going to earn 300 research per sol, which is quite a large amount, and this is something that is quite new. Rare metals price, I don't remember this being in the game, but when you go down to the planet you can find that there are rare metals that you can mine, and you will want to use some of those rare metals for some of the late game buildings, so some of the domes, etc. But you can also ship some back to Earth as well, and it looks like they will now pay you, in this case $25 million per, I'm going to assume it's per unit right now. Also with the International Mars mission you're going to have a large rocket payload, so that's 700 kilograms, 70,000 kilograms, goodness me. Colonists never get earthsick. Food supply from passenger rockets is increased by ×10, and your rockets automatically synthesize fuel. So usually in the missions themselves you would actually have to go down on the planet and generate fuel from water, but with this sponsor in particular the rockets seem to generate it out of thin air, I assume, and that's recommended for first time players. So I don't really want to go down a very easy route, I want some challenge to be there. So the USA also gives you an easy, Blue Sun Corporation is easy, China is easy, so India, Europe and Space Y, which I'm assuming is a take on Space X, is the normal, and then we're down to the hard of Church of Newark and Russia. I'm sure there was a Paradox Interactive mission sponsor as well, but that seems to be removed from the list. I don't quite know why that's happened. So we're going to look at the normal ones and see what the normal mission sponsors give us. So with India we get 7 billion starting, 150 applicants, 100 research per sol, and 24 million for the rare metal ship back. All building costs are reduced by 20%, and we're going to get a bonus tech of low G engineering, which gives us the medium dome, I'm assuming available from the beginning. Europe, 6 billion funding, 100 applicants, 400 research per sol, that's huge. 24 million rare metals, 5 extra starting technologies, and you gain funding every time a tech is researched, and double if it's a breakthrough tech. Space Y, 6 billion, 75 applicants, 200 research and 20 million rare metals per rare metal unit shipped back. Drone hubs get additional drones, and 50% cheaper advanced resources. I think I'm going to go with Europe on this. Space Y is a little bit too close to SpaceX, and given Elon Musk's recent Twitter rampages. Don't really feel like playing as him at the moment. He used to be quite a hero of mine actually, with the way that he was trying to advance technology, but yeah, he's not been great right now. If you follow him on Twitter, then you'll probably know all about that. But yeah, let's probably move on from that subject right now. I don't want it to be a political game. But yeah, so we're going to go with Europe. It's going to give us the 6 billion, 100 applicants. Research is ridiculous, to be quite honest, at 400 per sol per day. Yeah, okay. So next one is the commander profile, and each of the profile gives you a various boost or bonus to your mission. So the city mayor is going to give us an extra 2 billion starting funding. Buildings require upkeep less often, and the bonus tech is Mars Nouveau. Building costs in metals and concrete are reduced by 20%. The inventor drones are gradually optimized to work and construct faster until Sol 100. Autonomous hubs, drone hubs, no longer require power or maintenance. It's pretty powerful actually. Oligarch, fuel production increased by 25%. Well, of course, you know, it's the oligarchies. And archaeology unlocks a residential spire. Hydro engineer, start with a water deposit revealed. Domes consume 25% less water. And water reclamation, unlock a spire which reduces water consumption. That's quite useful actually, to reduce the water consumption of domes. A doctor gives us a minimum comfort required is lowered by 15 for new births. And STEM reconstruction, colonist lifespan increase. I'm not too worried about the doctor, I don't think. Psychologist, 5 additional sanity while resting in their homes. Behavioural shaping unlocks a sanatorium spire which treats colonists' flaws. That's not too bad actually, because part of the game is the way that your colonists actually act. Each colonist can have flaws such as alcoholism or gambling addiction, and if you don't satisfy those needs by either providing a bar or a casino, then their sanity will take a hit. So that's an interesting concept, but not something I'm too worried about right now. Politicians, so we're going to get an extra 20% funding, and Martian patents, repeatable tech that grants funding. Not too worried about being a politician. Futurist, breakthrough techs are researched 30% faster, which is great because breakthrough techs can be almost like game changing in the way that they will improve your colony. And then bonus tech is the autonomous sensors. Sensor towers no longer require power or maintenance. That's actually quite powerful as well, because part of the sensor on the planet is that it increases the scanning area, so you can scan from orbit your landing site, so you can find more minerals. And some of these sensors can have been quite a long way away, and you have to really like drop a large length of cable. Phrasing, shall we say, a long piece of wire to transport the power, etc. So that's actually quite powerful. Ecologist, service comfort. I'm still laughing about the large length of cable. Service comfort of decorations increased by 10, and hanging garden spire. Not so bothered about that. Astrologist, astrogeologist. My word. Reading, not only phrasing but reading. Start with rare metal deposit revealed. Extractor production increased by 10%, and the bonus tech is deep scanning, which allows scanning of sectors for deep deposits. So that includes water and minerals. So that's actually quite useful, but it is something you unlock later in the game. And then rocket scientist, it's going to give us an extra rocket, and the CO2 jet propulsion unlocks shuttle hubs and long range transportation. The shuttle hubs are absolutely brilliant in this game. They so as part of when you're on the planet, you have little drones that go backwards and forwards trying to balance out the resource needs, particularly in between domes. So if you, for example, to build a food dome purely based on the generation of food for the colony, these little drones that you have go backwards and forwards, picking up the food and taking it to the outside deposit areas of the domes themselves. But having the shuttles, they're just quicker, and they can actually also transport people, residents, colonists even. Wow, words are failing me tonight, guys. So they will pick up people. So if you have an industrial dome where all your manufacturing is done, the shuttles will go and get the colonists from various domes that work in these areas and take them to work and bring them home after the shift. So I think I'm going to go for the rocket scientist. I like that. Company logos, there's lots of different logos that you can pick from. There's Mars Express, there's Voyager, Final Countdown, Serenity, Curiosity. Yeah, you've probably seen Brussels sprouts. This was again one of my, well, probably my favourite YouTuber right now, and has been for a long time, is Quill18. He got taken out to the Paradox Studios in, I think it's Sweden where they're based, where he got to see an early play of the game. And one of the things he asked was, quite cheekily, could he have a Brussels sprout logo in the game? Now, Quill has had a long history with Brussels and sprouts in general throughout a lot of the games that he plays, so it's nice to see that in there. But yeah, a random logo, very much for a particular YouTuber, but I also like that as well. You know what, I think I'm actually going to go for Curiosity, in particular with the recent announcement by NASA that they're actually struggling to wake up the Curiosity rover on Mars after putting it to sleep after a long dust storm, and what was supposed to last, I think, between 4 and 8 months on the planet has been there 14 years. And yeah, I think I'd like to play homage to Curiosity as a thanks for everything that little rover has done in terms of furthering our knowledge of the red planet. Within the game as well, they also have mysteries. I don't know what these mysteries are. There's easy, normal and hard ones. You can actually select one, but part of the mystery is that you will have an event and you need to overcome that event. Some are easy, some are normal, some are hard, so I'm just going to stick it to random. I don't know what any of the mysteries are. I haven't read into any of them to avoid any spoilers of the game, because I like to be just as surprised as you guys are when we're playing the game. And then if you really want to, you can actually start changing the game rules, which I like the idea of it, to mix it up, but as I'm going to play through it as a, should we say, almost like a first time, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave those switched off for now. So there we go. Mission sponsor is Europe, commander profile is rocket scientist, company logo Curiosity, the mystery is random. So we're going to start with the normal difficulty, 6 billion in funding, 3 rockets, 100 applicants. We're going to be earning 400 research per sol. We're going to get 22 million per rare metals, as and when we find any and start shipping them back to Earth. We're going to get 5 extra starting technologies. We're going to get funding every time tech is researched, and double funding if it's a breakthrough tech. The commander profile is going to give us the extra rocket, and we're also going to start with the CO2 jet propulsion, which will give us the shuttle hub and long range transportation. Next thing we have is actually the payload to what we're going to send to Mars. First thing is the prefab buildings, so you can send all these ready to go. Drone hub is very useful, particularly when we send a rocket back, because when we do send a rocket back, the drones use the rocket as their command center. Once that ship goes and you don't have a drone hub, you lose control of all these drones that have come as part of the rocket, and I made that mistake in a very, very early play of this. So always have a drone hub, and make sure you have the drone hub down before you send the rocket back. Moisture evaporator, so this will go and actually create water from the atmosphere. It's not a huge amount of water created, but really we're going to need that, because to create fuel it's produced from water. So if we're wanting to fuel our ship and send it back, we're going to need to start creating fuel pretty early on, and that's what we're going to need. So with the moisture evaporator and fuel refinery, those two are quite synergistic, and yeah, we need to bring those with us. The Stirling generator now generates power from the air, from the atmosphere, but I've never really used a Stirling generator. I've always wanted to use the solar powers and the wind power, so I'm going to drop that. Gives us a bit more cargo capacity and an extra bit of funding. The machine parts factory, the polymer factory and the electronics factories, not too fussed about those right now, particularly with one of them. I can't remember if it's I think it's the machine parts factory. So you build the machine parts factory to create machine parts for other maintenance, but yet the machine parts factory also uses machine parts as its maintenance, so you're creating them to keep the factory going, etc. blah 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 blah. I just don't think we need those so early in the game. An RC commander is quite useful to have for later. We certainly need the explorer, and the transport can come later as well. 6 drones is good to start with. Concrete, metals and food. We'll find concrete, we'll find metals and food. We can always send some more with the second rocket when we actually send our people over to Mars once we're set up and ready to go. Polymers are quite useful. particularly maintain your power, advanced power generators, dome and spires. We don't need a huge amount of polymers, I don't think, so I'm going to drop that down to 5 to start with. I'm going to increase it to 5 orbital probes. What we can do with the orbital probes is scan the area around the landing site that's been selected, and hopefully that will help us find more deposits of minerals, concrete in particular, and water is also useful to have. Machine parts used to construct and maintain extractors and factories, and electronics, maintain scientific and infrastructure buildings. I think we'll probably grab some more machine parts. Can we take 5 more? We can. So what we're going to do, I think we're going to take the machine parts to start with, the more mechanical side of things. So next. So here is Mars. Now what they have on Mars is you can literally go anywhere on the planet you want, select a landing spot, and within that landing spot it tells you roughly what the resources are going to be available, and then any threats that you're going to have. You also have these landing spots here, which are obviously quite famous in terms of what's already been spotted on Mars from previous missions in real life, of course. And there's one actually just called Colony Site. Please select that one, please, thank you. So that's going to give us, so it's a high risk of dust storms, but there is quite a lot of water and things. Let's just keep hitting random, let's see what we can find. I really don't like dust storms in this game, they are quite bad. That's very good in terms of resources, but I would like some more. Don't want dust storms. Really want to go for more meteor side of things. Keep hitting random till we find something that we want. There's nothing wrong with keep hitting this as well. Till we find something that we want, particularly in terms of meteors, because I do like those crashing down onto the planet. What's this one up here? That's really bad cold waves. Ooh, okay. That's not so bad. So water's not great. Meteors is good. Metals and concrete are quite good as well. So can we just tweak this a little bit? Let's get rid of some of the cold waves. Okay, so how about that? We're going to get lots of concrete, quite a few metals, and some water. Relatively flat. Can we tweak it a little bit more to get maybe just a bit more water, I wonder? Okay, let's go for that. Get this game started.
Welcome to Mars.
Everyone at Mission Control is impatient to see the rocket touching down and unloading its precious cargo. Our remotely controlled eyes and hands on the red planet, the drones and rovers. Our goal is to secure a foothold for humanity by building the first Martian dome. This daunting endeavour will allow the brave pioneers, the founders, to settle on Mars and provide the colony and prove that the colony is sustainable. But until then we have to make sure the colony has enough construction resources, water, oxygen and power. Okay, let's go with this tooltip. So wow, here we go. Already we have some water, concrete and metals. So here we have the orbital probe. So when we select the orbital probe, great, it just did one over there. That was a good waste of one. You actually click on the sectors around your landing area to provide us with intel, really intel as to where we're going to go. What we have here is we have 70 metals, 6,000 water and 2,000 concrete. We haven't got a huge amount of concrete. We've got quite a lot of concrete there though. and we have water over here. So let's go down to the planet's surface, and as you can see we're on Mars. We can scroll around and have a good look. So we've got quite a bit of metal on the surface there. We have an anomaly, which is useful, and we have some water. Grade is average, which, you know what, is pretty good actually. Average grade concrete, very high grade concrete. So we will need to make use of that water at some point. But what I'm thinking is the rocket here. Now if we select where we can land it, we can actually we have a we have an area, shall we say, and what that means is that the drones have the ability to reach those areas from the rocket to start with. But with that, see, what we could do is, now one of the features of the game is dust, or the issue of dust, and that keeps things like the domes need to be maintained more with large amounts of dust, and particularly when you're actually mining for concrete as an example, it kicks up a hell of a lot of dust, so you don't want your rocket. So we've got some quite a few bits of metal on the surface. Do we have any metals? Cancel that. Can we come back out, please, game? Thank you very much. We've got quite a bit of metal on the surface, but we don't have anywhere to mine metals, do we? There's no actual metal deposits. So what we're going to start doing is getting some sectors around here scanned. You can queue up scans as well. I'm going to try and just open up the areas around the game itself, around the area itself. But what we want to do is we want to find a metal deposit to mine. It's quite a bit on the surface to start with, so that's what we'll do. So let's get this rocket landed. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to land the rocket slap bang in the middle of that deposit. You can go and get the concrete just in for the water there, and here we go. So you can see the rocket's actually coming down. There's a nice little shadow there as well. Let's see the rocket come down. See how the dust being kicked up by the rocket as it lands? This is the dust that causes major issues. It really does. So what I'm going to do is, as we've now landed, thank you camera controls and building constructions, we have a little RC Explorer. So that will go around and start collecting things for us. And as we go into the game, obviously you see little drones are coming out. Look at how cute they are. They have eyes and everything. They're very cute. Look at them, all milling around. Welcome to Mars. Right, so we need to get them to actually start doing something, don't we? So building, build menu. Right, so we're going to need some resources. What we want to do is to start getting some of the resources that we brought with us off the ship. So what we do with that is we get a universal storage. So let's just stick it in between the concrete and metals first. Now once we've done that, as you can see, the drones are already on their way. They're off to go and get all the resources off the ship, which is great. Then what we also want, oh yeah, of course, when you put solar powers down as well, even dust from generating concrete will affect the quality of the solar panels that have to be cleared more. But we really want to get some production and a concrete extractor. What we want to do is to make it the best possible place. By not killing out too much, is that just on the edge there, by not taking out too much of the concrete whilst we're doing that. We'll also want to get some power down. Power, solar panels. So how much does a concrete extractor use in terms of power production? So it consumes 5 power, and when we build a solar panel, base production is 2 power. A large is 5. So I think we'll go for the large solar panel. You can also rotate these as well. I don't know if there's a certain amount of distance that you have to be, but we'll stick it there for now. And then what we're going to do is run a power cable from there to there, and that will give power to the concrete extractor. So we'll just increase the game speed and get this running. So right now we've got power running, but we're also going to want a where is it? We want the fuel refinery up and running. Actually, we want water up and running first, don't we? So let's get the life support. Let's get the moisture evaporator down. I know it's saying not enough power right now, but that's no problem because we're going to resolve that. It will mean it's not running through the night at the moment, because obviously
resources are low.
Yep, I know. That's fine, that's fine. Oh, tech. Let's get the tech going, shall we? So we have extra research options available to us. Water reclamation, engineering, robotics. I think, you know what, I think we'll actually go and get the autonomous sensors first. Let's go and do that. So we'd place the moisture evaporator, and we were going to need to get another solar power. So let's get a couple, and I must remember to right click. Means we can build more in one go. Let's do that and get a second one down. So the moisture evaporator has power, and then we can go and get the, where's the fuel? Fuel refinery, there we go. Stick the fuel refinery down. We want to stick a water pipe down as well. That's under life support, pipes. I believe it's probably just one to there. That should probably do it actually. So that means now, how much power are we producing? So power production and power demand 15 and 15, 15 and 15. That's pretty good going, is that? Oh, we also need to, whilst we're actually building the storages, a dumping site. So as we create concrete, we create waste rock. By creating waste rock, what we're actually doing there, is this not connected? Insufficient water. Okay. So I always have problems getting these pipes connected. Oh, that was an interesting bug there. So is that? So that's got, well, that's no problem. Insufficient water. They're telling me that I've balked the water cables already. Life support pipes. That's a nice little bug, isn't it? Damn it, game. Give me the ability to connect these two together. Life support pipes. So from there to there. Please be happy with that now. Thank you. So we've already wasted some resources by doing that, but there we go. And that new sector has been scanned. Let's just slow it down a tad while we go out. So we scanned the new sector and we found sweet nothing. Let's go back in. Right, so now we have a little RC Explorer. What we can do is we can send this little dude here, you, go and do that. So scan that anomaly, please, and unpause. That would obviously help as well. We could probably do with getting the drone hub. We are now producing fuel. We are equal on power demand and power used. Basic resources, we have the concrete, we have some metal on the surface of the planet, and the ship will eventually start getting refueled. And we probably want to make that a priority to get it fueled as quickly as possible. So you see the little drone dude, he is going in there. I'm going to drop some fuel off. Yep, that little dude is going out to collect the fuel that's been created and put it in the rocket. So that's nice. We're getting the fuel on the go. We're starting to create some concrete. Might be nice to get a concrete storage area actually down. So as part of the game, in the storages, you can actually have a specific depots for particular items that you're creating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it right there, and then those little dudes will just collect it.
Research complete. Anomaly analyzed. Milestone achieved.
Well, so that all kicked off at once then, didn't it? So we've completed the anomaly research. We've scanned the anomaly, which has given us the milestone. Building's not working, that's fine. We've got the automatus sensors, and we need to go and do some more research, which I just dismissed, which was great. I don't think we need the low G turbines at the moment. So that's the robotics, the shuttle hub that we have already. Transport optimization, robotics. RC transport harvest resources faster. Its maximum storage is increased by 50. I don't think we need that just yet. I don't need to want to increase. What will that give us? More applicants will start to appear on Earth. Water reclamation is great, but do we need it right now? I'm not too sure. Fungal farm for all those fungal infections. I like the idea of fuel compression. Rocket cargo. I think we'll take that one for the next rocket we're going to send. What we'll do is we'll get the farm queued up as well. Hands-on observations and problem solving of low gravity environment of Mars have helped our engineers come up with solutions for increased wind turbine efficiency. So that's polymer blades. So what that's going to do is that's actually going to use polymer resources as we increase the wind turbine use, and I don't really want to make that happen just yet. Generate 100, so we have an explorer. So let's get some more research on the explorer, and then let's get some more people in as well. We're at night time, so that's fine. We're having water being generated. Of course, nothing is actually happening right now. That's okay. Where's our explorer rover gone? Little dude, come here. Let's go and get a charge. So you have to send the rovers to actually charge, and we do that by smacking them on a power line. Of course, when we're actually running power, that is. I wonder when it becomes daytime. I wonder if that will actually take power from the grid, because we're running 15 of 15, so therefore there's no real room for error in that sense. And I just wonder if by running, you see, you've got a power demand of 20, but when that opens up, we're only going to you see, by charging that little bugger there, it's going to taken some power away from us. What we're going to do is we're going to send the rover out, and we're going to go and scan that anomaly. Got plenty of charge in him, so that should be fine. And yeah, see, we've got the dumping station now as well. That little rock is there. You can get a tech later on which you can liquefy that rock and get some more resources out of it. The ship is being refueled, so we're on to 5 of 50, so we can send that rocket back. We're not in any position to actually send people yet. That's just not going to happen. And what else do we need to do? So he is currently scanning the anomaly. That'll be soon completed and we can send him back. And I think probably for now, guys, this is a good place to put a cut in. So we're on our way to Mars. We've got our electricity, water is being generated, and therefore fuel is being...
Research complete.
Thank you very much.
Analyzed.
Fuel is being created to send the rocket back, so that's going to be good. I've ballsed up the pipes a little bit. We've got a decent, not a massive cable length, but that's just right. And we're creating concrete, and we have quite a bit of metals available to us. Really we want to... Damn, let's just have a look at the research. So the research is going to continue for now because we queued a few up. Do we want to get a sensor tower down? Do we really want a sensor tower? Can I even find where the sensor towers are? So the sensor towers, it's going to cost us... See, the sensor tower will help us scan quicker. I think we need it. I really do. Let's just go a bit higher up. I think we want to increase the scanning capability, because we need to find that metal. We need to find out a mine of some kind. I'm going to stick the sensor tower there. Do I want to go to wind turbines right away? Power, wind turbine. It's going to cost machine parts to maintain, and it's half a machine part to maintain it at one point. How much do the center towers cost in terms of power itself? Let's just see. If we build it up and get the demand, we shall find out quickly. Okay, that's working. Well, that's a result. So we don't need to get any more power from the system. You see, like, the dust already accumulating on some of these buildings here already. So that may end up harming us. Because yep, so that sensor tower was actually helped us a bit quicker to complete some scanning. See the sensor tower boost. You can see it's a buildable area 90%. Ooh, meteor landing. But the sensor tower boost is now giving us 159%. So that's quite good.
Resources are low.
So resources are low. Building resources is power and water. Well, that's fine.
Sector
because
scanned. Anomaly found.
alright, what have we got here then? So here we have
Research complete.
rare metals. We have an anomaly, which could be a breakthrough. More concrete and more water. What we haven't found yet is any more metal apart from what's on the surface. That could be a bit of a worry. If we can't find any metal deposits, send this dude back. If we can't find any more metal deposits, it's going to really cause us some issues. I don't want to have to rely on sending metals from Earth on rockets every time. Okay, well we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the first episode in what is going to be a new series of surviving Mars, and let's see if we can actually survive. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.